Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports.
Hello.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love the movie. I think it's great for the whole family, and
Great.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. Also nostalgic for me as somebody who grew up in the 90s. I definitely loved all the 90s. I noticed, Evan, your character was wearing Beavis and Butthead shirt in it, and I immediately connected with that because I was introduced to that when I was a kid. I'm just curious to hear from all three of you, what initially drew you to be part of this project when you first were approached for it? Like, what was it about it that made you really want to be part of it?
Who wants to start?
Go for it, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, when I got the audition for this thing, I already knew about the whole chupacabras legend. So when I heard about it, like, oh, that's cool, a movie about chupacabras. And I'm like, I noticed how it's like a different spin on it than I've heard, because like there's always like, scary stuff about it. And so I thought, yeah, this is really cool. And I'm so thankful to be here now, because like I never thought I would have the privilege to make it this far.
You did a great job.
Yeah,
Honestly.
this is just the start.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Here we go.
Yeah, Christian, what about you? What made you really want to be part of this?
I thought the story was adorable. I thought it was sweet. And like he was saying, it does take a kind of a legendary story and a particular mythological creature that has a very scary sort of history to it, and does flip it on its head and takes that fantastical creature and makes a story about family, about love, about remembering your heritage.
Yeah.
And, just opening up your eyes to new things in the world and reconnecting with your family.
Yeah, of course. And Demián, what about you? Also a big wrestling component for your character.
No, right. No, that's Christian put it very well. It's all that, and I was just fascinated by the fact that they took this myth and turned it into such a beautiful, family film, such a daring story, daring story. And daring sometimes too. Yeah,
Daring.
right. Yeah, this kid does some stunts.
Yes.
And
very brave, very brave guy.
We talk about many different issues, but also the fact that I get to play a luchador, a real luchador, a former luchador. That alone was a big plus. And the fact that Jonás was going to direct that, I met Jonás when he was a kid. And so it was a privilege for me to get, reunited with him and do this together. And of course, then the cast, I've been a big fan of Christian's work, and the rest of the cast made the whole thing very enjoyable.
I was familiar with you before, and I'm really impressed with your work. So
As was I. He played young Elliot in Mr. Robot. So we had a history as well. So
that's awesome.
It was a nice reunion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I really felt the familyness. Well, Christian, maybe not your character a little bit much. You're trying to, not be nice to animals, but I still felt the family vibe.
Was he not nice to animals?
More gentle.
I thought it was very gentle with the
He was actually very gentle.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. No,
I don't want kids kicking me in the shins as I'm walking through the airports. All right, please.
You ended up being good in the end.
Thank you. Yes, there we go.
Maybe just quickly before we wrap up, is there like a main takeaway you hope that people get when they watch this besides, the family enjoyment?
Well, I think
of course, family's
vital.
Yeah, they always got your back.
Yeah. Appreciate your heritage.
Yeah.
History is important. Your culture is important, and it's something that you should embrace and keep an open mind to, and don't judge things before you've done all your education and all your research.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Great message. Thank you so much for your time. I can't wait for everyone to see this movie. It's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Jonás. Thanks for being here.
No, hi, Helen. Thank you for having me.
I really enjoyed this film. I think it's something great that the whole family can enjoy, and I really love that aspect as well. I think there's a lot of messages in this movie, right? When it comes to learning about a new mythological creature. I did not know about that, so that was really great. There's also a lot of family values, different culture values as well. What were some of the main goals as a director coming into this that you really wanted to hone in on?
Well, this is a movie I truly made for my kids. During the pandemic, I spent the pandemic locked down watching films with them. And a lot of the films we saw were movies from my childhood, like E.T., Gremlins, Jurassic Park. And so I suddenly became very excited about the idea of making a movie for them, like a movie like that. And when the script came to me, I became very excited because it was a script that had the DNA of those movies from my childhood, but that because it was based on the chupacabras, it allowed me to tell that story, but in a context that was mine. I think something as a kid, there's something very magical about seeing magic on screen, but a lot of those movies didn't represent where I came from. So I kind of became very excited about the possibility of telling such a magical story, but in doing so, showing a different context, which was the context where I grew up with. And it also was the 90s, which is when I was a kid.
I appreciated that, growing up in the 90s myself.
Yeah, it was so fun to bring back all the elements from my childhood, many of which the kids were so at first confused with, like seeing the kids interact with the Walkmans and the Game Boys. It was like they were alien objects to them.
Yeah, I really noticed that too. So I think again, I think there's a learning aspect here too, right? Because you said it's something that you didn't see a lot in yourself growing up in the movies. So that was a goal as well. I'm also wondering from a technical point of view, because Chupa is done with CGI. Was it challenging for you when it came to the scenes that involved him, or I'm just wondering from a technical standpoint how that went?
I think the main thing that I wanted to get out of Chupa was the relationship with the boy. I think there's something so magical in all of these movies in that they play with the relationship between a boy and a creature. And it's a relationship that you see often with little kids and animals, And so the first decision we make was to have a dog on set. We had Harper, which was this incredibly cute dog that was incredibly well behaved. And, Evan, the kid who portrays Alex, was always acting with Harper. And that helped a lot because they built that bond that you see throughout the movie. And then after that came the technical part when we're done filming the movie of erasing Harper and adding the magical creature. And that was also a really fun process for me. One, the design of the creature, because I was able to root it on the mythology, but then expand on it and turn it on its head, not make it a horrific creature. But beyond the design was also the animation, the way the creature acted. And for that, we did inspire ourselves a lot on both animals that I know kids connect really good with. But also I based a lot of the performance of Chupa on the performance of Alex. I think you see that a lot. Dogs respond to the way you're behaving. So whenever the animators would tell me, oh, how should a Chupa act in this scene? I said, just look at Alex, and they should both, the more comfortable they get with each other, they should mirror each other.
Yeah, I definitely felt that. I definitely felt that he was hugging, and even some scenes of Christian Slater holding an animal. I thought it was really real. So I'm guessing it makes sense now with a dog. That's so interesting. There was also other animals on set too. What was it like working with that too? There was chickens, goats all over. I really liked the liveliness of the set.
I mean, I think to me, when I started building the ranch where the kids spend their holiday in, obviously, because of the context, it was important to have animals, but to me, it went beyond it. I just, I see my kids and I just see how their faces light up every time they see an animal. There's something just so magical on screen about seeing an animal that I just constantly was finding excuses to add an animal onto the screen.
I loved it. Yeah, I definitely loved the chickens and everything. It was great. Thank you again for your time, and everyone's able to check this out on Netflix.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.